right. Okay, so the topic of this conversation is HR technology as a business enabler. We are all HR professionals, but how do we leverage this technology to make sure that we continuously drive our businesses to outperform what we were able to do last year? But of course, with technology comes its pros and cons, especially depending on how we leverage it. And number one, we're going to go to trying to move my screen. Okay, good. We're going to make a brief introduction of what the conversation would look like and how HR technology enables companies all around the world to evolve and also support their culture of continuous learning. Mr. Sean has made mention of lots of things around e-learning, around learning management systems, which I will also touch a bit on, and also helping you reduce hiring costs, empowering the talent you already have on your payroll, and also ensuring that you continuously upskill them to be able to position your company for strategic competitive advantage. What are the kinds of HR challenges that are typical to Nigerian businesses? Number one, how do we engage the workforce? The people we've already hired, how do we keep them engaged? There are lots of companies now that work either remotely or using a hybrid approach. How do we continuously, Anthony, I can see your hand is raised, but if you have a question, you can just leave it on the chat and then we'll take it when we're done. Then of course, attracting talent to the enterprise. The talents that the first speaker also mentioned, it has to do with e-recruiting. You need to be able to position your organization to be attractive enough to have people want to join your organization. The paradigm has shifted now, and it's more on the side of the employees. Most employees, especially if they're very good in their field, they have the option of choosing multiple employers. So you need to be able to make your company as attractive as possible to be able to get those people to work for you. And of course, you have training and development strategies. How do you retain talent? How do you manage payroll computing from the manual approach you use now to the automated approach? How do you ensure performance tracking in a way that is objective, in a way that removes all human bias? If you're using objectives and key results as your framework, or you're using balanced scorecards as your framework. Then diversity in the workplace. How do you ensure diversity? How do you embrace change? And how do you ensure employee health and well-being? And of course, the cumbersome recruitment process. All those things, we'll talk about them in a jiffy. But before we do that, what's the solution? Of course, the solution is technology. And it allows you to automate the entire HR value chain. And that's the beauty of an HR technology platform. But of course, before you move forward, it's important to understand how to move from the analog phase to the digital space. And as you're moving your digital workplace, you're moving your digital workforce, and you're moving your digital HR. So these three components, you need to be able to shift their mindset from analog to digital. That is where HR managers, you have the dual challenge of transforming your HR operations and also the workforce. And according to the Global Human Capital Trend of 2017, that study was commissioned by Deloitte. It found out that unless HR professionals are able to strike a balance between these two, more often than not, you might end up not getting the desired result from leveraging technology within your business. There are 4 pillars of HR digital transformation. And without these 4 pillars, regardless of how much or the amount of effort that you put into transforming your manual processes to digital process, it's going to give you constant issues. Number one, you need to understand that 40% out of 100, 40% of digital transformation happens with the mindsets of your employees. Another 25% then happens with the people that you've hired. Some organizations have more of digital natives. These are people who are used to using technology platforms and technological gadgets. Some are not really, used to it. They are open to learning, and some are very reluctant to change it. So as HR professionals, you must understand the categorization of your employees and treat them in isolation to get the best result. Your processes. Technology is not going to come in to create processes for you. We need to understand that. It will come in to automate existing processes, thereby making them more efficient. So if you don't have a payroll component, if you don't have payroll components like deductions, allowances, pay grades, the technology is not coming in to help you do that. It's coming in to ingest all that information and then produce an efficient result in a timely manner for you. Then, of course, the technology. Selecting the best technology for your business. There are lots of technologies out there. It doesn't mean that all of them will align with the direction that your business wants to go this year. And we need to be extra careful when we're doing that. We'll also speak on that very soon. Then again, I mentioned the major transformation points. So just to drill down a little bit, you need to design your talent practice. And that speaks to what I mentioned just a few seconds ago, that those processes need to be available for the system to be able to help you ensure automation. In some cases, you may consider hiring digital savvy employees. These are what we call digital natives. And in some cases, because you've hired so many people that you believe that they're open to learning, you can start to create and continuously promote a culture of innovation. Then within your digital workspace, how do you ensure productivity through modern communication? For instance, most organizations now operate a hybrid approach. Some of them operate a fully remote, and just a few operate fully on-site. What are the tools you need to introduce to be able to ensure that regardless of where your employees are working from, you are able to digitize that workplace? If we're working from my house, I've got a laptop, I've got tools, some of which Sean had mentioned earlier, that I can use to improve my efficiency and productivity. And of course, the digital HR, those are digital tools that HR can then use to create the policies, to create the framework that their different employees can then key into. How do you ensure that you're striking a balance between the technology that you're about to procure, your people, and the communication that will help you align the three of them? Number one, as you're trying to strike that balance between your technology and your people, you must ensure that you're encouraging employee engagement. You promote the culture where people can provide you with their own opinion and what they feel, because you have one very beautiful thing working for you. Most employees that you're going to hire maybe they didn't start with your organization, they've worked in a couple of organizations, they've learned different things, and you want to leverage on that, the ideas and their experiences as well. For instance, if you were to hire someone like Sean and it's coming into your organization and you are in a position where you're about to make a decision that has to do with CRM, because he's been using HubSpot. It can help you understand that, of course, I have used HubSpot, I have used Zoho, and as an internal person, it can share his reviews with you, and it can even help you ask, questions that will give you actionable intelligence when you are engaging the vendor. So you can leverage that as well. But you're not going to be able to get this if you don't loop in people, if you don't ensure that you're encouraging engagement from your employees. Number three is that you must understand that people have different technology adoption rates. Even while we're in school, people learn at different paces, and you cannot force them to adopt at that level. If you do, then you start getting to see that some people are forming up resistance, and they're like, instead of you to bring in this technology that will then, show that probably I'm not, it will then imply that I'm not good at my job because I cannot quickly grasp the technology that you want me to use. I rather just pose a resistance to it. And as HR, you want to be able to carry all the stakeholders along to be able to get the buy-in of the leadership. Again, there is the need for you to have considerable expertise as the HR leaders, considerable expertise in leading the HR digital journey. How to do this is basically you transforming the competencies of the different job roles and how they speak to your business. It's not just, oh, we're going to transform the business by using HR technology. Of course, that's what you want to do. That's the end game. But the objective that you need to strike out one by one is by identifying the relevant competencies and transforming them from manual to the digital space. The second thing is you need to work hand in hand with line managers. They are your first line of adoption. If they adopt it, they will ensure that they cascade it to their downlines. And it's going to be a win-win for you. Also, we cannot overemphasize the power of effective communication. It's important. You're not going to get anything done as HR without effective communication. Then how do you bring new innovations to life very quickly? Again, I'm going to, just borrow a leaf from Sean's presentation. Lots of tools. How do you drive it within your organization? I think we may need to consider what our friends in the IT department, and you can always have these conversations with your IT employees to help you understand how the agile project management approach works. So in project management, you have two different approaches. Number one is agile. Number two is waterfall. Waterfall is when it gets to my stage, I pick it up. Just imagine a waterfall. It starts from the top. When it gets to where I'm supposed to kick in, then I pick it up. When it gets to where Sean is supposed to pick it, then he picks it up. But agile means that everybody understands what they're supposed to do. Then there's a singularity that keys everything in as at when due. So Sean does not have to wait for Tommy to finish his own bit before he starts his. We can start together and we are plugging into the singularity and everything is working seamlessly. Number two, again, we cannot overemphasize the promotion of continuous feedback sessions. You are introducing technology into your organization. You must ensure that you are having these one-on-one sessions, either with line managers, and line managers in turn will have it with their employees, and they're helping you understand the frictions they're having, how it's, and then, holistically, you're understanding the different progress levels across the department that your new innovation is bringing to the business. So when you are engaging leadership, you are helping them understand this information. Then the next thing, you've identified a wonderful solution. How do you get your management buy-in? It can be very, very tedious. You've seen a solution that you believe is going to work very efficiently within your processes, but you are not the one who is making the last buy-in decision. You still need to walk up to probably the chief operating officer or the chief executive officer. Probably they were not part of the selection process and they're just like, okay, so why do I need to pay for this? You guys were getting along pretty good last year. Why am I shelling out another 2, 3, 5 million for this? And so many HR executives get stuck on this phase. And they keep telling the vendor, I like your product, but my business is not accepting it now. One of the things that you may want to consider is that identify allies and advocates within your business. By this, I'm talking to the line managers or the influencers within your organization. And influencers that you have identified as people who are open to technological innovation and the digital space. And you can have a conversation with them. They are the ones that will keep giving you that support structure as you are making your case to management. In a management meeting, oh yes, I align with what the HR manager is saying, from somebody who is also influential within that mix, can go a long way in tilting the CEO's opinion about what you're saying. Secondly, pitch value. Don't just go in there and say, oh, so lots of people are beginning to use HR technology. I think we should use it as well. Help the CEO understand why you should pay for that service. And HR professionals are very wonderful when it comes to that kind of skill, because when an HR professional wants to hire someone, they know how to defend it to leadership. If you want to expand the team, they know how to defend it to leadership. If they want to get budget for employee engagement and employee get together, they know how to defend it to leadership. You need to tap into that, reservoir of knowledge that HR professionals have and align it to ensuring that you're pitching value to decision makers to be able to buy your relevant HR technology. Thirdly, let your data do the talking. For instance, we run payroll. We use 5 days before we're done. So if we are going to pay on the 25th, then we have to start collecting payroll updates. We have new hires, somebody has left, want to penalize someone. All those components, we keep crunching them back and forth. It takes us 5 days. Having 3 or 2 people working on it, it's going to take them 5 days. Whereas if you're using technology, it can take you as less than 30 minutes. These are kind of data that you want to start showing decision makers. And you can help them understand that if we use technology for 30 minutes, that means we can free up 5 days for 2 officers to be able to do more productive things. These are data-driven conversations that you should be having with your decision makers. For instance, automated performance management. You can tell them that in time past, people have always complained about bias when it comes to performance management and tracking. But we have a technology in place now that allows an empirical, an objective, unbiased performance management and monitoring in a way that allows a 360-degree review. The employee knows how he's being scored. The line manager knows what he's doing. Somebody above the line manager also has that information. If you have an appraisal review committee within your organization, they are all working together to synthesize that individual's performance in terms of management. There's no way the decision maker will not start saying, okay, I think let's see how this plays out. Because you are following up with data. You are helping the decision maker understand what they stand to gain. Then because of the cost and of course, the perceived success of a digital change, HR professionals may also want to consider experimentation. So Sean mentioned best of breed and integrated. So what we also have with some of the integrated solutions is that it has also been modularized in a way that you can go into a conversation with a vendor that provides integrated HR solutions and tell them that, see, I'm not interested in everything you've got. I'm only interested in leave management, payroll, and time and attendance. Can you implement it? I know a company that is able to do that. I will talk about it, in the next few minutes, and they're able to do that for you. And again, HR leaders may also want to focus, like I mentioned, on the digital mindset of your employees, because no matter how you perform excellently well in trying to convince the decision maker to make a financial commitment to technology, if at the end of 6 months or at the end of 1 year, it is discovered that the adoption rate is so low because of the non-digital mindset of your employees, is more likely that the decision makers will be reluctant to continue to service that particular expenditure. So we have to take all these things in mind as we progress in this new year. Then what are the benefits of HR digital transformation? They cannot be overemphasized. And these are some of the things that you need to tweak. You understand your business more than any vendor. The vendor can only tell you what his solution is able to do and how this solution has helped some of the clients who currently use the system. And then you can then align it to your own organizational needs. Number one, it helps you with higher talent retention. There is a stronger alignment between your company strategy and people management. See, if you understand how automated performance management works, it allows you to create company objectives and cascade it down to department to even employee level. So that synergy then begins to happen between the company and the people that work within that organization. They are better decision making because you can easily pull relevant data from the platform. And you can provide your leadership with actionable intelligence to drive the company forward. Your employees, you can increase employee satisfaction. Most of the integrated HR solutions come with a survey module that can help you feel the pulse of your employees from time to time. And this can help you even, discuss with the leadership to help them understand that these are the things, these are the feelers that we're getting from the workforce. So for instance, you're turning in a new policy, there's a new employee engagement plan that you're rolling out, or performance management was just concluded, and you want to understand how people feel about it. You can leverage the survey module to also do that. Of course, it's going to come with lower HR costs. Again, when you're making your argument with leadership, the initial cost can look a little bit on the high side. Oh, from last year when we're not paying anything to this year when you're asking us to pay X. Now, the idea is it may look like, oh, X is a big deal. But by the time you start to see how that platform is helping you plug holes, that last year, those holes were actually where you are losing man hours, you're losing resources, you're losing money. By the time you are spooling data and you're helping them understand how you've been able to plug those holes, you will then discover that you have actually significantly reduced your HR cost. You will also automate your manual processes from payroll, leave application, learning management, performance management, and whatever it is your HR processes are. You'll be able to automate those manual processes. You also have improved visibility over the workforce. There are so many things that data can do for us. But because we don't have actionable intelligence, we don't know. By the time you are spooling data and it gives you this level of intelligence, you are going to be like a super HR to your leadership. And they'll be like, you need anything, just tell HR to bring you that data. They're going to get it for you in like 5 minutes, and then you'll be able to work on it. Imagine yourself in a management meeting and they need to make a particular decision or strategy meeting for 2022, and they need to make an important decision, and you're like, just a minute, and you're spooling data, and you're helping them understand that these are the reasons why some of these strategies may not align, because this is what the data is saying. Let your data talk for you. But data cannot talk for you if it's not collected accurately. And there is no other way for you to collect data accurately unless you're using technology. Then, of course, consolidated HR system. I'm speaking from the integrated HR side because my company has a solution that is integrated and is a wholesome HR solution. And that's why I'm able to see I have a bird's eye view to the advantage that you would get from using HR integrated systems over the best of breed. But of course, it's still left for you to make that decision as a business. I'm just speaking from our own experience. And of course, stronger employer branding and candidate attraction. Some of the things that made me fall in love with my current employer is that there is an onboarding module that helps you automate all those first activities that a new joiner would do. So a new joiner walks into your organization, he needs to have his meeting with his line manager, he needs to get his laptop, he needs to get his ID card, he needs to get so many things. If you recall the last time you switched jobs, your first day, it will be as if you're swimming in a large ocean because you don't know anybody, you don't know what to do. Now imagine there is a prompt telling you that, okay, Jide, at 10 o'clock, you're supposed to meet with Sean. It's supposed to take you on the top of the organization and make an introduction. Then by 11, you're supposed to be at the lounge where Sarah will come pick you up and give you your laptop and then your ID card. Imagine all those things. And that's just a sneak peek into what this automation can do. And I'm like, okay, that's good. I know what to do. I know where to be at every given time. And it gave me some level of relief, some level of comfort. And that's just to give you an idea of what this kind of automation brings to you. And what I've been mentioning for about 20 minutes now, advanced analytics and improved reporting. I'd have loved to stop here, but I noticed that, just a minute, I'm going to try and just show us a very few other information here. And I was hoping that we'll just stop here and then we'll just ask questions. I then noticed that Sean couldn't touch a few things from the HR function. So I would just, in like 5 minutes, just run you through a few things that HR automation can provide for you. So I am trying to move my screen. All right. So this is some of the things, these are some of the things that HR information management can do for you, can organize everything that you have to do with your HR functions. Imagine you having a secure centralized database hosted in the cloud. So you're not having infrastructural cost, and you can access it from anywhere in the world. Imagine that as an HR person, you're having a vacation in the Bahamas and you can just keep doing your job as efficiently as ever, even when you are outside of your office space. And you also have access to historical data. Imagine someone was the HR 3 years ago, and you have just resumed today, and a new company is asking for reference check for an employee that worked about 4 years ago. You have no idea of this employee. Then you probably have to devote your own time, or one of your subordinates start searching through files, and it can be tedious. Not only that, if you don't respond on time, that person might lose that opportunity. But this system allows you to just say, search for the person's name, pull that information, and generate a report, and then ship to that organization. It makes you look super human, and it makes you feel good with what you've been able to do. And again, I really don't know why this slide's not moving. Okay, I think it's just slow. Okay, so you also have access to an employee self-service, which means that, and Sean mentioned something that was very, very key. He said it's now more like a portal and not just you interfacing directly with your HR professional. And the employee self-service allows HR to focus on much more strategic business partnering. Employee wants to print their payroll, employee wants to apply for leave, employee wants to start their performance, employee wants to update their bio data. They can do it on the employee self-service without coming to the HR. Of course, there are checks and balances that you will have as the HR professional within the organization. But again, you are going to be able to give employees this level of latitude to continue with what they want to do. And okay, payroll management. So many organizations still use manual payroll. There is a new payroll legislation. You have to start trying to see, well, how do I balance it out? Imagine if you have a solution that complies accurately with the new Finance Act. It means that whatever it is you are computing, the solution automatically aligns it, and you are in compliance with the rules and regulations of the country, rather. And again, it's fast and it's seamless. I assure you that using this kind of payroll, you'll be done in 30 minutes. Running the actual payroll will take less than 2 minutes. But ensuring that all the stakeholders get to see the different components, they get to see the other information, approval levels, and all those things. Let's give it between 20 to 30 minutes. But the actual payroll run can be done in less than 2 minutes rather. And you can also have direct payouts. You can imagine you run payroll, you have to give the bank schedule to one of your staffers to go to the bank and then start processing it. As against you being able to, at a click of a button, you can debit your company account and credit all your employees to the tune of their respective salaries, regardless of the bank that they're using, at no extra cost to you. For instance, if you were to pick any of your bank app now and you're transferring money, you discover that if you're transferring to another bank, there are charges that accrue. But in this case, using this kind of system and this direct payout feature, it comes at no extra cost, no bank charges at all. And you can remit not just salary, you can remit pensions as well. So from the convenience, from the comfort of your office, you can pay salaries directly. Everybody just starts getting a lot. And you can also disburse their respective pension remittances to their various pension fund administrators. are some of the things that automation brings for you. And again, performance management system. It's also automated. You are looking at a situation where you can create appraisal cycles. Appraisal cycle speaks to the frequency at which you conduct performance within your organization. Some do it biannually, some do it quarterly. The system is able to handle that. You can also manage your appraisal periods and then define reporting periods. It's so holistic. It's so easy to use and it's so efficient. And to this end, depending on how the conversations go with the leadership of the CIPM of the state chapter, we're more than happy for any organization that is interested in trying out this solution. We're more than happy to set up a few modules for you in a kind of a trial account for your organization to test it out, so that you don't see it as, oh, maybe you're just trying to talk us into this. We can actually try it out. You can actually get to see how this solution is going to help you transition from the manual processes to the digital HR process. And you can then proudly announce to the world that you have been able to handle your midwife your organization from manual to digital. Then recruitment management spoke a lot about this. And I understand that one of the things you also mentioned had to do with you getting lots of applications by virtue of using e-recruitment. So one thing that our solution also has that helps you handle that is what we call an applicant tracking system. What it does is, regardless of the number of applicants that have shown interest in that job role, the system, using a predefined set of parameters, will filter and show you candidates that are best suited for that role. So even if 500,000 applicants applied for a single role, the system will help you understand that of these 500,000 applicants, I've seen 50 that are closely suited to what you want based on your requirements. And then you can then say, okay, this 50, let me start interviewing them. And if I don't see enough people that I want to hire there, I can then come back and refilter. That gives you an idea of the level of automation that this system is able to do. And you can also administer recruitment tests remotely. Another concern is that if I'm taking a test remotely, how do I ensure that people are not cheating? How do I ensure that people are not, having a screenshot of the questions and then sharing it with people who have yet to take their own test? So our system caters for that as well. As you're logging into the test environment, the system is helping you understand that your front-facing camera has to be on, and that you are not allowed to create any other tab or even switch to any other tab so far as you're still, interfacing with the test. If you try to beat the system gives you a warning. You try it again, it will log you off. And as it's logging you off, it's sharing a report with HR to help them understand that the reason why we have shot A out of the test is because he has done this, he has done that. And it's also taking a screenshot of your face as you are taking the test. So it gives you the comfort that even though I'm not there to physically invigilate them, there is a smart system that, in a way helps us ensure that people are not trying to beat our system. And it can also maintain a talent pool. Lots of organizations will say, oh, even though we are not hiring now, we welcome unsolicited applications. You can store this in your talent pool. And whenever you need to hire, even before you put out a vacancy, you can then say, the applicant tracking system, go into my talent pool and go and look for anybody that fits into this profile and let me know. And the ATS will go into your talent pool and say, you've got 500,000 people within your talent pool, but I've seen just 3 people who fit that requirement, and you can start your interview like that. So, of course, like I said, there are lots more, but just so that we don't, waste our time, we will hope that in subsequent events, we'll be able to show an actual demo and also extend a trial version to any organization who is interested, maybe because you're trying to make your case to leadership and it's becoming tougher and you want to be able to show them that it actually works. We're happy to have conversations around those trial periods, and we'll be able to support you in ensuring that you get your management buy-in. This also speaks to leave management and a whole lot more. When employee onboarding, that one that I mentioned earlier, this is what actually got me captivated when I joined Seamless HR, my current organization. And of course, time and attendance. All this is automated. They are at global best practices, and they are automated, they are integrated to give you that seamless experience when it comes to end-to-end automation. We also have requisition management, which helps you manage the end-to-end requisition, who is supposed to make that requisition, who is supposed to approve, how does it get reimbursement. All those things have been factored into the development, and you can even go a step further to integrate it to your finance module, so that you can even have direct payout to the employee who is making such requisition.